if you make $38,000, you need to be handy. You need to know how to hang a fucking light bulb and put a fan up and put on a light switch. If you make $38,000 a year, you better cut the grass. You better wash dishes, cook food, wash clothes, fold. I mean, everything. Like, if you literally, it has to back. We talked about this. Remember, again, if you're an electrician, you add value to your household by knowing how to do all the electrical stuff. So your 38 is now, I don't know, 72. I don't know, you know, like you.
I ain't double. That's a stretch.
Well, no, because that's
other value.
Because wait, hold on.
No, that's a hustle. Because you got your job, then you got your side gigs. No, that's a hustle.
But that's what women need to understand too. If you only make 38,000, 50,000, you better cook. You better clean. You better wash my clothes. You better fold them and iron them and hang them up. No, because that is your value. That's your tangible value. Now you're 50,000.
Now if she's good in bed.
Even if she's good in bed. Listen, it's 2022. There's a lot of box out here. You know what I'm saying? And it's getting easier and easier by the years to get it. If you make $50,000 as a woman, you better come correct and do your due diligence in that household the same way as a man who makes $50,000 better know how to be handy. He better know how to do what, you know what I'm saying?
No, I think that's different.
It's not.
One is a life skill. If you're an adult, you should be able to wash your clothes. If you're an adult, you should be able to feed yourself. If you're an adult, you should be able to pay a fucking bill. Like, there's things like life skills. Being handy is a plus. It's not a life skill that you need to have to survive.
But then you know that
I can cook, clean, everything, but I don't know how to hang a fucking TV. So is that gonna affect my life in any way? No, I will be fine.
But you know what happens? Now let's be realistic. Now you have a man and a woman. Now let's just say they both making the same amount of money, right? 38,000.
Let's say 50.
Okay, 50. He makes 50, you make 50. All you do is cook and clean. This is how we get back to the original question. I'm now fixing everything in this house. My value is saving us money. So now my value, you said, from 38 might be worth 72. So if we take that same ratio, my 50 is now worth 100. So now when I make that 100, and now you tell me you working too, you don't want to cook because you tired. It's like, nah, sweetheart. Because technically,
I agree.
We make the same, but we're not worth the same in this relationship.
Well, no, you are worth the same but you have to be able to do it. You have to, like, she has to hold up her end of the domestic whatever.
Agreed.
And you got to hold up your end of your handy shit. Everybody has a role to what? Oh, sorry. Everybody has a role to play, and everybody needs to be willing to play that role. Perfect example. In my house, I do the majority of the cooking and cleaning. You know why? Because Shut up.
But why is it bad, though? No,
because I know why you dabbing me up. I do most of it. You know why? Because I'm better at it. I'm efficient at it, and no one's going to come in my house and be like, ooh, they got a dirty-ass house. No. You're going to come home, and shit is going to be proper and perfect. Ain't nobody going to ever come in our household and be like, ugh, your wife keep a dirty-ass house.
Fact.
Never.
But you know what?
Sorry.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
It needs to come.
No shade to Aaron, but if I was Aaron's husband, I ain't cleaning shit. Okay? Like shout out to Darren, that's my guy. He's a cool guy. If I was Darren, I ain't cleaning shit in this house. You hear me? No.
Why?
Shit.
Why?
Because nigga, I get that bag. You hear me?
I get a bag too.
It's cool. It's cool. You get the bag. I ain't saying that you don't, but my bag goes to here. my bag goes to here.
You need life skills. You need fundamentals, and I think that's the biggest thing that's been happening in relationships that is creating so much.
That people don't have life skills?
Yeah, we lost it because our whole life
is on the internet.
Our valuations went on the internet.
Yeah,
like that's the whole valuation. That's what we get our value.
Gotcha.
Everybody is getting their appraisal from the internet. And then the earth gotta appraise you, and then when you find out, you ever pulled your credit score on Equifax, like the real Equifax when you get in the mortgage, and then you pulled it on them. What's your credit karma? Do you know how far your credit be?
No.
It should be like 790 on Credit Karma. Then be like, sir, your credit score is a 648 or 720.
No. And then get that TransUnion. Then your feelings really hurt.
Do you understand?
Your shit really hurt. So that's the solution is
laps on these girls.
The solution is master the fundamentals. So in order to get to that solution, there has to be a complete mind change in how parents are raising their kids. You can't teach your son, where you can go out and play sports and you can go out and do this and that, but baby girl, you got to make sure you know how to cook. You got to make sure you know how to clean X, Y, and Z. Like, you have to raise these kids the exact same. And the things that no one's doing that, even though would you raise your son and your daughter the exact same?
Yes, and I do.
In today's day?
Yes, and I do.
I'm not gonna lie. My kids really know. They cook. They could cook. Like, if my 14-year-old cook and my 11-year-old
I've seen that.
They'll cook food that will be like, dang, this thing good.
But that's not what I'm saying, Alan. What I'm saying, if you had girls in your house.
I don't.
Right.
A woman in my house.
No. If you had but see, the thing is that you're not raising your wife.
My daughter is tougher than my stepson.
It has nothing to do with tough.
Because the way she's being raised, I think this, Aaron, and I'm not trying to trump what you're saying. I think that's an old school mentality. I think people, in order to really have that reprogramming, is that people need to stop, in the words of Alan, don't drink the Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? It's not the parents. I think kids turn 18, 19, and then they see Rico, and they see Rico walking on a yacht with 5-6 women, and he goes, it's okay to have 5-6 women. Let me go do what is necessary to get that. So now that kid, he can't figure out how to get the money, so he starts scamming.
No,
listen to what I'm saying. Same thing with the girl. There's girls that see other girls, right, with the top guys and all that, and they're like, well, how did she get him? She's naked on Instagram. Let me get naked on Instagram. And people are literally following others' footsteps to try to emulate their results. And that's what's happening. It ain't them kids. It's just the simple fact that the results and the desire is overriding people's moral compass of their character. So and that's what you can't do.
I actually agree with
Aaron is saying that it does begin in the home. Those core values, the
fundamentals.
I don't watch girls be raised by good parents and risk it all.
No, from your perception. No, from your perception, but you weren't there.
She still said, "Daddy, I love you."
From the perception that she was raised in a good home and her actually being raised in a home of core values is two different things. We have to remember there's a difference between perception and reality. So often we don't understand why he killed 30 people. He came from a 2-parent household and it was great, but you don't know what it was like in that home. So I think what Aaron is saying, that the core values that people are learning at home, nobody's 18 and is an island unto themselves, right? We are the sum of our experiences. So what Aaron is basically saying is it starts at home.
The lack of still can be considered a trauma. It's a neglect.
Not trauma.
Right? Well, if I don't have a good core home, there are a lot of people who are constantly making poor decisions. Yeah. And they have great parents. And they have great homes. Here's the thing. I know you know that there's a lot of, I hate to say this, Caucasian kids who came to the hood and had no business being there. Their parents were okay. Their parents treated them right. They got the food, the shelter, the love that they wanted, but they wanted to be accepted by this community. And now they're in here risking their life and getting kicked out their house. This is like, we have
you're simplifying it because you're thinking that
I've seen it.
You know, I know you've seen it, and so have I, because you're thinking as long as I give you food, shelter, a comfortable environment, you've come and quote unquote love. You don't know what kind of love they've received. You've come from a good environment. It's very difficult when somebody takes like a complex issue and simplifies it and says, I gave you love, shelter, and whatever else you just said, you should be good. Human beings just don't function that way. I wish it were, because there wouldn't be a lot of issues. It's just not that simple. Core values?
Core values. Like, you know who told me that I need to start saving to get a house? My parents. You know who told me that I should go to college, pick a career that aligned with my
what if you don't?
But just listen. You literally just said it, Alan.
What if you don't live in a good home?
I'm talking about Aaron Campbell, right? So we're saying, go along the lines of what you just said.
Kids.
Yeah, like
if we're talking about we're giving game.
Exactly. Right. Like it starts at home. I don't care what nobody says. And even if you aren't in a great home, it starts with mentorship, somebody, in your life who can give you game, who can show you how to finesse, who can give you nuggets to help you figure life out. Some people don't know, I need to learn how to cook to survive as an adult.
Watch 8 at the Table.
But that's my point.
Not the plug.
The mentor, the thing is, and this is the thing, and I agree, I get what you're saying, but what I'm also trying to make sure people understand is that this world is different, and the game that Aaron has said, your mentors are not good mentors. People are having people that they're looking up to.
No, I said I said your parents first.
But it's a mentorship.
It's a mentorship.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
So now, sort of a mentorship.
It is. You're right.
Like they're not having good mentors, and it's coming from outside the house and inside the house, and the influence is crazy outside the house because 9 times out of 10, whatever you're accustomed to is as less valuable to you. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I'm in this house, this is a 3-bedroom house, and really having a 3-bedroom home is actually considered, a luxury. But I'm used to a 3-bedroom home. It's no longer a luxury to me. And now I'm watching this guy risk his life scamming and doing Ponzi schemes, and he has a 12-bedroom home estate. Now he is more impactful than my parents. And that's what people are not understanding. We're trying, and that's why I'm not trying to get too passionate, but people are trying to put so much blame on the parents, and I'm like, no, listen, the world has now been able to be viewed in tenfold from now more than ever. I don't care what generation you are. And if I can now see everything that I never had and feel like I lived there because I watched them do their whole things, their routines on a day-to-day basis, that person is more impactful than my mom and my dad is. And it will always be. It does not matter. And it's important to understand as a parent, and I'm a new parent, it's important to understand to tell your children, only believe half of what you see. Because that's what the problem is. People are believing all of what
everything
they see.
And
they're running away from their morals. They're running away from their characters.
To circle back, you're teaching that, but you are a parent.
Well, I'm talking about to the world.
No, but
I'm not their parent.
But,
what I'm saying is there's the mentors like myself that are the outliers that are trying to correct those people.
You're right. I agree with you, but it's you teaching it. You might say it in a different language for this generation or whatever, but what we're saying is that core value that you're teaching so that your child survives in the world of tomorrow is a core value. Yes. So when she is 15, she's not influenced by what she sees on social media. She's like,
she gonna already know his fate.
She's gonna be like,
where did she learn it from? Social media.
No, she learned it from
I'm
you.
social media too. You're missing what I'm saying.
But I agree.
She's learning it from social media.
He's learning it. But you're still saying what I'm saying. You're taking what you know. It doesn't matter where you got it. I understand that. 20 years from now, it can come from wherever. You are the responsible party while she's a child to teach her core values to survive in tomorrow's world. I know you're getting it from social media, but you're teaching her.
The young ladies you should learn from the older ladies, right? Because the older vixens that didn't get it start hating on a new breed.
All the time.
They start hating on them.
Because they still want to be in the game.
They still want to be in the game because you know what happens? They never learned fundamental values. And this is the only game that they can play. Mm. And so since this is the only game that they can play, they now have the new younger women coming in and controlling the game and saying, hey, you no longer fit on this market. And if you do, your price that was here is now over there. And I'm the price over here.
But the point of that is that everyone needs to understand at some point you're going to age out. Remember, I kept saying that when the sugar baby girl was here. You're going to age out.
She said she was going to go to a 90-year-old man.
I mean, whatever. But I'm just saying.
90-year-old girl.
At the end of the day, you're going to age out. It's just like the foster care system.
I'm going to need like a 20.
You're going to age out. And you have to understand that, you're up now. You're up now, yeah. But you got to look at who's up next. That's what's really important.
Who's on your
and
heels.
if you're being honest with yourself, and you know if you cannot rightfully compete with who is up next, you got to figure some shit out. Because you about to age out the system. Now what you gonna do?
And that's the craziest thing because, here's the thing. Women this is free game for you ladies, I promise you. When we talk about vixens.
What you looking at me for?
Not because you're my homie. And you can attest to this, right? The younger vixens, right? You gotta learn from the older vixens. You know why the older vixens hate? Is because they don't possess any skills. So you know how you never become that? As you're a younger vixen, you learn your fundamental skills. So when you are an older vixen, you already are ahead of the younger vixens because the younger vixens, they can't actually cater to a man. They don't even know how to treat a man. They're young women. So a man might like them, right? They might like how they look, but they're never gonna like how they make them feel. And anybody in this world always remembers how you make them feel. So if you are a younger woman, you look at the older ones that are hating and be like, okay, cool. What did she do or what did she not do? And now let me learn what that is. So then that way, when I get to that age, I'm going to keep myself available on the market as a complete woman rather than a young woman.
I think the point is really just knowing how to pivot. You got to know how to pivot because when you age out, what's next? You got to know how to move around. Just like what's the Brandon Marshall show, the guys they call their show The Pivot. You know what? They had to figure out how do we stay relevant.
The other cats.
Yeah, no, but the original show, yeah. But they had to learn, we're hot. We made something. We're big shit. But how do we continue that outside of the original platform? Mm-hmm. You know, you have to be forward thinking. You got to know what your next move is. You know what? And you may have said this before. Everybody's living in the moment.
Oh, I did.
And I think older generations, so millennials and Gen X, they were not living in moments. They're always like, well, let me do something now so that I can be okay later. Or like, let me do something, let me save this $10 a day now so that I can have $100 later. But I think right now people truly live in the moment. And which is not always bad. Yeah, it's not always a bad thing, but I think
exaggerated.
Sorry for anybody who is like this. Is that old guy? No, I'm not really not. I'm not sorry.
Right.
But sorry. Cheers to this. So what I despise the most is that guy who's 36 years old, 37 years old, and he was outside. He was a DJ.
Strong.
Look, he was a DJ. He was a promoter. He was a rapper.
He was a producer.
Yep. Yep. He was, and then he's telling me all the stories on who he met, and telling me stories about the events that he was at, and I'm like, where are you at right now?
That's all that really matters.
And I'm like, yo, you spent all this time living in those moments and prepared nothing for your future. Mm-hmm. And now you telling me people be doubting you. No, you just made bad decisions consistently.
Wait a minute. Can I ask a question? And I've always said this. I believe in a teammate, like somebody who, we on this shit together.
You do say that. We have a bunch of clips of you saying that.
Yeah, I really believe in that. And I think that what's important for us to remember is that your teammate ain't gonna always be the best for you, but it's gonna be the best for the team.
Okay.
Y'all may not always click. Y'all may not always get along. Look at Draymond and old boy the other day. He socked his teammate.
They're good now, though.
But they still on the same team and they still working towards the same goal.
That's called brotherly. That's for all my best friends.
No, I'm saying. No, but I'm saying, but that's the point. Like when you're on a team and you realize your contributions to making the team better, it doesn't matter if we not always getting along. Right. It doesn't matter if shit is hard. You know why? Because the goal is the team.
Wow, I'm so glad y'all said that. That just made me think about something, and I think that a lot of people today are suffering from. And I think a lot of people...
Team building.
Well, I don't even think it's... Well, yes, it is. Team building is a product of it.
Okay.
Right? They're suffering from team building because no one has bigger visions.
They're like visions.
Yeah, if you had a real vision of yourself, like I sat here at 8 at the table one time back in New York, and I asked the girl, okay, cool, you're modeling and you're doing all this thing, but what do you plan on getting out of this? And she didn't have an answer. There's no real set vision for where they want to go. There's no real destination. So how do you don't know how to build a team when you don't know where you want to go? I don't know what pieces to go acquire because I don't even know where I really see for myself.